going to tell us a few words and give us a little excitement and a little sense of who we all are around the state. So we're going to go to Newport, we're going to go to Cranston, we're going to go all over and meet different people and hear different things that they have to say about Challah, about Shabbat, about Israel. And then we'll make Challah. We're going to make Challah together starting exactly at 6:55. So that's our agenda. We're going to show a couple of videos and say a few words first, and then we'll get right into the program.
Great.
If you have any questions, please put them into the chat. We have somebody who's monitoring the chat. I want to thank everybody for spreading the word. I want to invite you all next year in person. Please God, please God, please God, we'll all be in person dancing somewhere in the state. All of you, even those of you who are in Florida or New York or Maryland, wherever you are, you're all invited. And thank you to Jessica Neubauer for helping us with the tech. And Alison, my partner and my, what they call the work wife. All right, Alison, you're up.
Hello. I mean, hard to always come after Alyssa. We're just so excited to have everybody here. It's fun to kind of see everybody popping up and in their homes and in their kitchens. And we're just really excited to make some challah. It is foolproof because I've tried many other recipes and usually I fail. Ask my daughter. Not only okay. This one always comes out delicious. And we're just really, really excited to have everybody here. And as Alyssa said, if you have any questions, if you're having any problems, just put it in the chat and we will make sure your questions get answered. And we really kind of just want this to be a fun evening. This is new to us to be doing a challah bake over Zoom, which is pretty wild. But we're really excited and I just love seeing all these families being able to do it together, even though we're getting close to bedtime for some people. This is very exciting. And I'm going to miss seeing all those kids dancing around the stage, but I know that together next year we'll be in person and we will be able to bring back all that excitement and ruach. Okay. Looks like people are still popping on. I mean, we're at 38 screens, but a lot more people because it looks like there's at least 1 or 2 people on every single screen, which is really exciting.
So I'll kick off the video.
Can you raise your hand if you've never made challah before? I see one.
Hey, Howard, you're on, Howard. Your dad's never made challah, and he's the only guy on, so he's going to have to show us all how to do it.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to be great because he's a great cook, although he never dabbled in bread. So we have a few newbies here. That's really exciting. I always think it's really fun when there's people that have never made challah before and you do it together as a group because you really feel like you can't fail. I mean, how could we possibly fail? We're going to do, it's like amazing. And you have all this support and people behind you. And I'm really excited for all the newbies out there. I also want to encourage everybody when we're done at the end of the evening to take a picture of your challah and send it to us or post it on the Facebook page. This is going to be really fun to see everybody's challahs. Just so you know, my family, whenever we do the challah bake.
Oh, we add sprinkles to it.
Yep, we always add sprinkles, which makes for a fun, festive Shabbat, which actually is like dessert and challah all in the same package. Usually after the challah bake, we just have challah for dinner.
That's not true.
Yeah, a lot of times we do. Use all kinds of fun toppings if you have them in the house, whatever, sprinkles or sesame seeds. Trader Joe's has an awesome everything bagel spice.
Yeah, I have it.
And for anybody interested in making more than the 2 challahs, like tonight I'm doing my 5 pounds to donate challahs or to put them in the freezer for yourself for future Shabbats. We really encourage you to all bake together. On the sheet that was sent out, it has the directions for either doing 2 challahs or for doing 5 pounds worth of challah. Alyssa, when she starts making it, we'll go through all that. Does everyone have their ingredients? That's important.
So while you're getting your stuff together, we're going to show a little video, right? We're going to show a little Israel video, get in the mood, a little bit revved up.
To get us really excited and in the spirit, it's an Israeli, it's like the Israeli We Are the World.
If you want to dance, you're welcome to dance. Feel free to dance.
2021.
The sound for the music is off.
Yeah, the sound went off.
We have a lot of people on here, so it sometimes gets glitchy. We don't have the like supersized Zoom.
I have to be unmuted for the music to play.
Sorry, I muted you by accident.
No, that's okay. I just unmuted myself.
Guys, I'm leading this thing with like 100 people. Yeah, just be quiet. Hi, guys. So that's if you're interested in looking that up and watching it on your own, those are like all the top Israeli artists who just put together that video about kind of surviving this pandemic. And it's a really cool way that they all came together. It was kind of hard to see because, you know, it's complicated to show with this many people. It looks like we have a lot of folks on.
Okay.
Everybody's almost here. I'm looking to see if our next.
Yeah, she is. She is there.
She is.
Are we ready to start right away? We're going to go right into it.
I think we can.
Okay, I think we should also. So, can I just say something?
Yeah, go.
It's really interesting, everybody, because normally we do this on the stage and there's like a million people in the social hall and there's noise and there's flour and there's children and there's food and there's wine and it's just a little bit of a balagan. And so I'm actually not used to being heard. So this is a new experience. I actually get to speak and actually people can hear what I'm saying. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very auspicious time to be making challah. The majority of us on the call are women, and the injunction to make challah was originally given to women, and it also happens to be the new month of Adar, as I mentioned, and that's also given as a women's holiday. And so we invited, as I mentioned, one of the things that we're looking to do with this evening is to spread the wealth and invite people around the state to participate. So we invited Nava Levine to just a couple of minutes to speak a little bit about the meaning of the new month of Adar and to get us into the mood. Like, we're going to be making challah, and challah is bread, and challah is physical, and challah is something we're all going to enjoy eating. But we're making challah, I'm going to try to infuse it with spirituality. We're going to infuse it with something a little bit transcendent. So it's not, quote unquote, just food. It's not just bread. We're going to make special, holy bread. So I'm going to spotlight Nava Levine, hopefully in her kitchen, who's going to speak to us a couple of minutes on the month of Rosh Chodesh, on the month of Adar, on the new month of Adar.
Hello, I'm next to my kitchen. I'm happy to be here. And yes, tonight is, as you said, the Rosh Chodesh Adar, and its best known day is Purim, which in my mind these days marks the first year since virtual became our new reality. I remember it fondly. I wanted to share a teaching from the Talmud where it and our tradition embrace the idea that when Adar begins, one increases rejoicing. Mishenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. This statement about rejoicing in Adar does not stand on its own, but rather in contrast to the saddest point in the Jewish year, the month of Av. I don't think the rabbis had in mind that as individuals, we should or even can be automatically sad or automatically happy based on the month of the year. Life has always been far messier and more complex. That this comparison of Av and Adar can teach us something about the cycles of sadness, how we might best navigate them. The Talmud continues stating that Adar is an auspicious month, a time when our luck might be better than average, and it encourages us to take active steps to making it so. For me, an essential element of joyful living, of making it so, is living in connection with others. Sometimes this is automatic and it's built into how we go about our daily lives. And other times, such as now, it's been quite a challenge. Though we see an end in sight, though not soon enough, to this crazy isolation that COVID has wrought, in order to fully experience the joy of this season, I believe we need others with whom to celebrate. And thus, I'm grateful and wish to thank Alyssa and Allison and all those many women who I see on this call tonight who have spent so much of their time and energy this year of pandemic and every year, helping us in Rhode Island and afar sustain and nourish community connections. So thank you for helping us tonight to begin this month with Simcha. As we bake challah together, may we bake it with joy. May we eat it in joy, celebrating with others, either in person or virtually. Happy Rosh Chodesh.
Thank you, Nava. That was beautiful as always.
Thank you.
Okay. The official challah song. What's that?
Who's ready
That's what's
for the
next.
call song?
I hope it's not me singing.
I'm working on it.
We need everybody to try to mute themselves.
Skip it if
And if you're not, please mute yourself.
we can skip it if it if
No,
it's-
I'm Allison. We got it.
Who's we? It's you.
Challah, 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 it's the bread that Jews devour every Friday night. Sugar, yeast, oil, eggs, and flour, knead it, braid, wait half an hour, bake till it's done right. Every Shabbos, make the Torah portion, Ten Commandments, Noah's Ark or Moses, there's a challah for them all. Joseph's coat of many sprinkled colors, Jacob's ladder, Israelites and plagues and Pharaoh, don't boil a kid in its mother's milk and love your neighbor as yourself. While Zion turkey challah whisked right onto this book cover, you will need to know skin diseases, goats and sheep, Miriam's own tambourine, made of the same dough. You can be a Jewish Bible scholar if you make a weekly Torah portion challah. All you need some eggs and yeast and flour, just ask your friend Rabbi Rockin' Power.
Funny.
Making sure she was there.
I'm going to ask everybody to mute themselves. If you're not muted, there's some background noise. It's best if everybody's muted. And if you're not muted, to be super quiet in the back. Okay, Allison.
Elise, I'm spotlighting you because you are next on our list.
Oh,
Welcome the beautiful Felice to our Zoom stage.
I just want to, just one second. I wasn't expecting that. I just have to wash my hands.
So we're spotlighting Felice at the beginning of the challah bakes, and now we're very super close to starting making challah. And we invited Felice Winograd to give us a little sort of meditation. This is her gig. This is something she loves to do and something she puts out into the universe. And she seemed like the appropriate person to start our challah bake. Give us an intention, give us a kavana, give us a mindset as we move into our challah baking. Felice, all yours.
Thank you, Alyssa. It's so wonderful to be here with you all. As Alyssa said, my name is Felice Winograd, and my son Noah is a first grader at JCDSRI. Yay! And my husband Alex and my son and I moved to Providence about 1.5 years ago, and this is my first challah bake, so I'm so honored to be here with all of you. And as Alyssa said, because I am a yoga and meditation teacher, naturally, I would love us first at the beginning of this intention to pause for a moment and take a deep breath together. It's always a nice way just to ground. So from wherever you are, nothing formal, let's just take a deep breath in. So we'll inhale and then exhale. And maybe one more. Inhale and exhale. That feels good. So I would like to invite you to bring to your mind and your heart, really, a woman who's not on this Zoom, but in your life, or when you're baking challah or preparing for Shabbos, is someone you want to feel close to you and close to your heart. And for me, that's my grandmother Chava, who died many years ago. I'm actually wearing her apron, but whenever I'm in the kitchen and cooking something, you know, a ritual of Jewish experience, I have her with me. So bring that person, that woman close to you. And I would also invite you to bring with you somebody who you want to pray for tonight. I recently learned that when we bake challah, it's a very powerful time to pray. And perhaps there's someone you want to pray for their health, for giving them support, for love. And if no one comes to mind right away, certainly our world needs a lot of prayer after this, incredibly challenging year. So let's bring some prayer into this moment. And so as we start this time together of baking and creating with our hands and hearing the stories of women from all different communities, let us bring those people with us. And I feel deep gratitude. So may we all together feel a lot of gratitude to be here together and to pray, celebrate, have fun, and just be together, really. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Felice. Thank you for setting our intentions so beautifully. Okay, Alyssa.
All right, people, we're ready to start. As a brief introduction, on top of the other introductions, the recipe that we sent out to you has two strands. One is a quarter of the bigger recipe. So if you want to make 2 chalot, then there's a recipe that's the smaller quantities. If you want to make the bigger one that involves 5 pounds worth of flour, then you're welcome to do that too. So hopefully you've decided that ahead of time and you have your ingredients ready. 6 ingredients we're going to bring together. We're going to bring together water and sugar and yeast and oil and flour and salt. That's 6 ingredients. We're going to bring them together. We're taking these disparate ingredients that are all separate, and we're going to bring them together. I'm going to make something new out of them. It's almost like we're making something out of nothing. And challah is likened unto the way God made man. God took the earth, he took the physical earth, and he mixed it with water, and he blew into this creation the soul, the nefesh chayim, the life source. So person, is a mixture of physical and spiritual. Oh man, how do I turn off my phone? I don't even know how to turn off my phone. Stop. It's a mixture of physical and spiritual. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Go away, phone. The fact is, I just unplugged my phone. How about I do that?
That's the God hotline. They're trying to get in.
I'm just unplugging my phone. All right. So humanity is a mixture of physical and spiritual. And so is our challah. Our challah is going to be spiritual because of what we're going to blow into it, what we're going to put into it, our intentions and our prayers, as the police said, and our thoughts. We're going to elevate it. It's not just a physical bread, it's a spiritual bread. And all 4 elements are going to be in our process. The 4 elements of fire when we bake it, water, because there's water in it, air, because of the yeast that brings in the air. And what am I missing? Earth, the flour from the earth. So we're taking all 4 elements and we're bringing them all together. So in the beginning, in our Torah, in the Bible, in the 5 books of Moses, we read about the mitzvah, the commandment to bring a piece of our bread to the temple in Jerusalem. So we're not doing that, but we're going to do it sort of figuratively. We're going to do it metaphorically. We're actually going to take a piece of bread. We're going to say a prayer on that bread, that piece that we take off that's called challah. That's what we're going to take off. We're going to do that because we recognize that this endeavor is a mixture of us and our physicality and our intentions, and it's God. God is providing us with the ingredients. He's providing us with these 6 ingredients to bring together. And so together, our efforts and God together are going to make this challah. So one of the things I want to say is that this is a gift. This is a gift to be able to do this. And as Felice said, there's a gratitude involved with this. We just read in the Torah, we've been reading through the cycle, and we read about the manna that fell down from heaven. You know how the manna came down from heaven and the people collected it? So there's a blessing we say on bread when we eat it. And the blessing is that we thank God for the bread from the earth. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We thank God for the bread that comes from the earth. When the Jews got the bread that came from the heaven, it was hamotzi lechem min hashemayim. It was the bread that came from heaven. So we're not collecting manna from heaven anymore, but we're making manna, our own manna. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So have your bowl, please. And into your bowl, you're going to put your water. So I'm going to add 5 cups of water. It's 5 warm. You don't want to be scalding hot, but warm water. So please, everybody, take your water and put it into your bowl. I'm doing the bigger recipe. So I'm doing 5 cups of water, but the smaller recipe is 1 1/4 cup of warm water. So put that into your bowl. And then you're going to add your sugar. So whatever you have, if you have a cup of sugar, I have a cup of sugar, or 1/4 cup of sugar, then add that to your mix. Oops, got the yeast. Here we are, I'm supposed to have my kitchen all set up. And then you're going to take your yeast. So again, if you have the bigger recipe, it's 4 tablespoons of yeast. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have questions, please put them in the chat, and Alison will, or Jessica will go on. And then you can give that a little stir. Give that a little stir. Okay, so that's yeast. That's all your yeast, all your water, and all your sugar. So let's talk a little bit about what we just did. Water is the element of life. It's what all of life is made of. It's considered to be a very humble substance because it flows. Usually it flows down. It doesn't flow up, it flows down. And it takes on the shape of whatever it's put into. And it's quiet. And it's humble. It's humble. It's silent. It's like our tears and our Torah and our life source. And it's actually something that's going to bind everything together. So here we are, we're binding us all together. We're bringing you all our different people, the different people that are here, different ages, different stages, different affiliations, different places in the country, and we're bringing everybody together, and we're doing that all together. 4 tablespoons of yeast for the big recipe. So if you're making 5 pounds of flour, you want 4 tablespoons of yeast into 5 cups of warm water. If you're doing the smaller recipe, 1 1/4 cups of water, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of dry yeast. Okay, I'm going to move on. Actually, I'm going to talk about sugar. Intention of sugar in this, I want sweetness.
Everyone got the yeast part. Hold on, Alyssa. Everyone got the yeast part. We had a question about yeast, and everyone's all set. Okay.
Dry active yeast is fine. Instant yeast is fine. Just yeast. Just put your yeast in. It's all good.
Alyssa, do you stir it around? Do you stir the mixture, or you just let it sit?
No, here, got my little, you know, you can use a spoon, you can use anything. Just give it a little stir and then let it sit. Let it sit.
So how's
Okay.
2.5 teaspoons? That's what's in a packet. 2.5
Yeah, so a little bit more than that. Maybe open another packet and use a third of the packet, the second packet. So if you have packets, use 1 1/3. Sorry, you're going to be left with a little. You can put a little extra in if you want. It'll rise even more. Yeast. What's yeast? Yeast is a rising aspect. Something rise. We want to rise to our best potential. We want to be better. We want to be more. We're going to rise up. We're using the yeast as a way to have an intention that this bread should elevate us. It should bring us to a place of increase and more, like elevate ourselves. Not too much. We don't want to be too much. You know, as you know, on Passover, we're not going to put yeast into the matzah because we don't want it to rise. But we need a certain amount of self-esteem. We need a certain amount of self-worth so that we can be functional and do good things in the world. So just the right amount of yeast. And then the sugar. Sugar's sweetness and positivity and generosity and kindness and giving and love. That's our sugar. And so don't scrimp on the sugar. You can add a little extra sugar if you want. It's fine. 1 cup, a little bit more. If you're using the smaller amounts, and it's a 1/4 cup, you can use a little bit more if you like it to be extra sweet and you want to have that extra. And as you know, on Rosh Hashanah, we dip it in honey. We want that sweetness. So have in mind when you add the sugar that you're adding the sweetness and the positivity and the love and the kindness and the giving. And that's represented by the sugar. Now I'm going to add the oil. So you want 1 cup of oil, which I did not pre-measure. So again, with this recipe, the bigger recipe, 1 cup of oil, could be canola oil. Somebody asked me earlier about olive oil. I've never made challah with olive oil, so I have no idea. I don't know how it would taste if you put olive oil in. Probably a little different, but it'll be fine. So you're going to add your oil. So oil, actually, the Hebrew word for oil is shemen. And the Hebrew word for our soul is neshama. So we're adding soul, we're adding that. And when you light oil, it lights up, it makes a fire. And we're going to, we want to be lit up. We want to be passionate. We want to be illuminate. We want to illuminate the world. We want to shine out. So that's going to be represented by our oil with enthusiasm and with godliness. We're going to shine. We're going to shine out. So that's our oil. So that's how many? That's 4 ingredients. Now we've got water, yeast, sugar, and oil. Now I want you to add your flour. So don't dump in a whole 5-pound bag. It'll spray up in your face and it won't be so fun for you. So maybe just gently add in. I already pre-measured my 5 because I have a big thing. But if you have a bag, just gently add your flour.
We'll do a little bit at a time.
Well, wait, hold on. I need to show you what I'm doing. I'm just adding flour. I'm just like plopping it in. Just plop it right in. Here comes the flour. All. Well, it's sort of 17 cups if it's 5 pounds of flour, and you add the flour to that. Okay, so flour is our materialism. Flour is the work. Flour is what we use, the materialism of our life, our income, our sustenance. And there are many steps that go into making the flour, right? You have to plant the seed and sow the seed and winnow the seed and thresh the seed and harvest the seed. I don't know all the different steps, but there's a lot of steps that go into making the flour. And again, representing that mankind, we're putting in our efforts. We have the natural raw materials and then we put in our efforts and we come out with this amazing flour, which you're going to make into bread. So it's wonderful what we're able to do. So before you mix the flour in, make a little hole in your flour and take your salt and add the salt. You want to be careful when you make this recipe or any recipe, you don't want the yeast to interact with the salt because the salt will stop the yeast from working so well. So that's why I always put it in last and I put it in on top of the flour so it doesn't interact directly with the yeast. So put your 2 tablespoons of salt onto your flour mixture. And now you're going to start, so salt, what's salt? Salt brings out the flavor in something. Salt is, you have to have just the right amount. If you have too much salt, it's not good. If you have too little salt, it's not good. It's just the right amount to bring out our strengths, to bring out our taste, to bring out, who we are. We need a little bit of discipline and maybe a little bit of stress to kind of like push us a little bit. So that's what salt represents. So there we have our 6 ingredients: water, sugar, yeast, oil, flour, salt. 6 ingredients. Okay, so everybody should have that in their bowl. And now you're going to start mixing it. So I don't bother with a spoon. I'm going to just take my hand and I'm just going to mix it up and I'm going to mix it around. I do have a little extra flour here if I need it. You might want to have a little extra flour there as you mix it in. I'm just going to show you. I'm just mixing it now.
Alyssa, we have a few people that said they have used olive oil and it tastes delicious. So
great. Okay, good.
Try.
Okay. All right, so we're going to mix that up. We're kneading it in. We're bringing our whole self. So personally, I like to use it. I don't like to use a machine because I want to put my effort into it. I want my hands in the dough. I want to put my sweat into it. I want to be thinking about different people, perhaps like Felice said, you know, somebody you want to pray for, somebody who needs healing, somebody who needs money, somebody who needs companionship, partnership, somebody who needs wants a baby, somebody who anything, you know, you name it, whatever it is. It could be, I don't have enough flour, so I'm adding a flour.
Do we need egg?
If it's too sticky and it doesn't bind together, then you'll see it's a little bit too wet. So pretty soon I'm going to dump this out onto the table, onto the counter.
Do we need egg?
No egg. Nope, we do. This recipe does not call for eggs except for an egg wash on top. Correct, Alyssa?
No egg in this recipe, correct. Actually, I think we started using this recipe for the challah bake because we didn't want to deal with people and eggs. But it's a good recipe, like just to have the egg and how we're going to do that when we were giving everybody the ingredients. So now we're just going to knead this and we're putting our whole selves into it. Our whole body is involved in it. We're bringing together all the ingredients, those 6 ingredients, all those different qualities, the quality of severity and discipline, the quality of sweetness, the quality of water that's going to bind everything together, that's our source of life, the sugar, the oil that we want to shine into the world. Okay, so yours coming together. Maybe put in the chat if you can, if you have hands, feel free to do it. Let us know how your color is coming along. And we're going to make something new, literally something new. We had those 6 ingredients, and now we have what's beginning to look like a bread, a dough. Amazing. Somebody tell me how we're doing. How are you all doing, guys?
Ivy, you need to help me.
Like this.
All right, wait, I have a little bit on my hands. I'm going to take a little bit more flour.
You are
just going to knead this. We're going to knead this for a while. Alison, read the chat.
Yep, I'm coming. Okay, so people are saying that dough is a bit dry. What do you do?
Say it again.
Alyssa, if people's dough is a bit dry, what do they do?
Add a little bit more water.
What do they add?
Oil.
Water or oil?
Water or oil.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to need this for a few minutes.
And
so you roll up your sleeves. Get involved. Put your back into it, you know. If it's hard for you, you could use a machine. I believe there are machines you can use that will mix it for you. There's bread machines and there's a dough attachment to a food processor. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to knead it. I'm going to knead it by hand because I love doing this by hand. Probably should have some music playing now, shouldn't we? So they say that making challah is one of the 3 special commandments given to women, along with lighting candles on Shabbat and going to the mikveh. And those are the ones that's specifically given to women and given right at the very beginning. And when we're done with this challah, when we're done making the challah and we're going to let it rise, we're going to go around to different kitchens and we're going to talk to different people and hear what they have to say about challah or Shabbat. And then we're going to come back and we're going to knead it a little bit more, and then we're going to shape it and braid it and put it in the oven. And there's intentions for all of those also. You know, when we let it rise, we're standing back, right? We put our work in and then we let it go and we wait. And what a lovely thing it is sometimes to not feel like there's anything else to do. We have to wait for our results to come through, you know, put our efforts in, and then we stand back and say, is it going to be successful? Is it going to taste delicious? Is it going to look good? Is it going to be good? But we don't always know, to stand back and let it do its thing. So mine looks like this. I don't know how you all are doing. I can't see everybody.
No,
So
Alyssa, I've never made 5 pounds. Alyssa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Alyssa, can you hear me? It's Alex.
Yes, I
For
can hear.
those people who are doing the 5 pounds, and you've never done this before, which I never have done, mine does not look quite as pretty as Alyssa's yet because she's like a master kneader.
Let's see. You need more flour. What's
The little
like?
piece in my.
Is it wet? Is it
It's
wet?
not wet. No, it's getting there. I just need to knead it.
Yeah, just keep going.
No, it's not wet.
Okay, good.
Alyssa, can you hold yours up again?
Oh, it has to have a little bit more. Okay. I tell you what's interesting is like when we do the challah baking in the public space, we give the ingredients and you do it and you take it home. But this is actually really good because you get to do it at home. So hopefully you'll figure out how to do it at home so you can keep doing it. You know, you can bring all the intentions to the challah making and you can make this bread and then you can eat it on Shabbat. And it just is so special and it tastes so good. It just tastes different than bread that you buy and you eat on a Tuesday. It just tastes different and has something infused into it, something special. Any more questions in the chat there?
No more questions yet. I think everybody's very busy kneading.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I was kneading.
Busy making their new entity, their new thing out of all these lovely ingredients. I think it's really lovely also to think about taking all these different aspects, these different elements, and bringing them together and saying, isn't that what we do as a Jewish people, as a world? You know, there's lots of non-uniform like difference and people doing different things and people look a little different and we bring it all together. We bring it all together in something that's delicious, something that we enjoy making and something we want to make, and we create a unity. I think challah is really about unity. All right, I'm just going here. I wasn't timing myself. Okay, Alison, are people kneading away? What are people doing?
Somebody said it's sticking to their hands.
If it's sticking to your hand,
Okay,
add
so
a little bit of flour.
If it's sticking to your hands, add a little extra flour, a little bit at a time. Add a little bit to your hands or add a little bit to the dough. It shouldn't stick to your hands, so it means that you don't have enough flour. If it's too wet, add flour. If it's too dry, add water or oil. So I think it's very cool that the blessing we make on it is hamotzi lechem min haaretz, that this is the bread that comes from the ground, and that when we collected the manna in the desert, it was hamotzi lechem min hashamayim, that it was bread that came from the heavens. But our bread comes from the ground, and we have to put our efforts in to make it. But then we become partners, and we're putting in, like, maybe we'll go back to that meditation that Felice started with, like, think about people in your life who need healing, people in the world who need healing, people who need things. Even you need things. You need something. You're infinitely valuable also. And as much as we are told to pray about other people, you should also pray for yourself. Pray for your own healing. Pray for your own strength. Pray for your own sustenance. Every prayer is heard, and especially when you're meeting the challah and taking the challah and when on Rosh Chodesh. So we've got a lot of confluence of really amazing things. I think people are asking when you know you're done.
Alyssa, I have a question. Alyssa, question. When do you know when you kneaded the dough enough?
when you're too tired to continue. or when I'm telling you the truth is, I usually need this for 9 minutes. So I don't know why it's 9 minutes. That's been always my custom. But I think when it's all come together and it's looking solid and it's looking good, we're going to need it again anyway. So I feel like I'm done.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I'm not a good baker. My dough is not stretchy. It's just like it's springy, but it's not stretchy. It's just coming apart.
Who's talking?
It's Rabbi Zarin. Hi.
Oh, what's happening to your challah?
So my dough, it's not stretchy at all. It's just kind of breaking apart in clumps.
Oh. Huh. Did you add all the right ingredients, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay, so it's breaking apart.
This has never happened to me before. Maybe I messed up one of the ingredients.
Do you think you need a little bit more flour?
No.
It's pretty, maybe. It's pretty dry.
If it's dry, you need water or oil. If it's sticky, you need flour.
Okay, let me try some oil. I'll be back.
Okay, not too much, just a little bit at a time. Anybody else have any questions? Because we're gonna stop kneading this in a minute. Okay.
I have a question.
Here's my dough.
I have a question.
Introduce yourself when you ask a question, please.
I'm Holly.
Yes.
How many calories do you think we burned kneading this?
I don't know. Spiritual energy. A lot of spiritual energy going here. It's going into the challah. Woo. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So what do you say we wrap it up here with the kneading? Okay, but it is representative of our efforts. We're putting our efforts, our calories, our sweat, our tears, our strength, our bodies, our arms, our backs, our legs. Our whole body is involved in creating this challah. Like it's really an extension of us, what we're creating here. Maybe it's a little different than when you just add ingredients and you mix it up and you stick it in a pan, like a kugel. Like this has a lot more going into it. Okay, so now you're going to take this and you're going to put it back in. All right, how are you doing there, Rachel, Zarin?
We'll find out when I'm done kneading.
All right, so continue kneading as long as you want. I think I'm going to stop. I'm going to put it back into my bowl. Sometimes I wash it out, but I'm not going to bother. I do put a little oil in the bottom just so it doesn't stick. And then I plop my challah into the bowl and then I turn it over so the oil's all around. And then you're going to cover this. So I always cover it normally with a tea cloth, but I read that you're actually supposed to do it with a plastic bag. I guess it keeps it more moist if you do it with a plastic bag. Some people actually put the challah into a plastic bag. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to cover my challah with a plastic bag. All right, so there's my challah covered with a plastic bag. I'm going to stick it here somewhere warm, put it somewhere warm. If the challah is dry or clumpy, wait, what is that one? I didn't see that. Hold on. It means it needed more water at the start. My advice is to add more water at the start and then adjust with adding more flour. Yeah, it's hard to go the other way, but if even so, you can add water at this point, even if it's all kneaded together. You can add a little bit more water. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Okay, where do you think everybody is at? Are we ready to go around the state? Allison?
Yes, I think we are ready. If everyone's kneading and getting their dough to where it goes in the bowl with the towel on top, I think we'll be ready.
Bag. If it's smaller quantity, you could probably put it straight into a gallon-sized plastic bag even. Jessica, yours looks like it might need a little extra flour.
Should we close the bag?
Yeah.
I should close the bag, right?
Close the bag.
Okay.
All right.
Can I
All
just
right.
use stretch tight over the top?
Say it again.
Can I use stretch tight over the top?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Right.
Try to put somewhere warm. We're not going to let it rise very long. We're only going to let it rise for like 15 minutes. So normally I would let this rise for an hour, but because of time, we're not going to do that. We're just going to just let it rise while we go around the state a little bit, and then we'll come back. Okay. So let it sit. But I think it's very nice to think about that idea that we're going to let it sit. We put all our energy in. Now it's about sitting back. Now it's about waiting. You know, we have to be patient. We're going to learn I'm not very good at that, but the character trait of being patient and letting things happen. And we put our efforts in, and then we have to take a step back and wait. So that's what we're going to do now. And in this time, we're going to go around to a few kitchens. The first kitchen we're going to go to is the kitchen of Wendy Joring. So Wendy, we're going to spotlight you. Jessica, can you spotlight Wendy's kitchen? Wendy Joring, where are you, Jessica?
Hi.
All right, I don't know if we can spotlight you, but we're going to try. Jessica? All right. Wendy, are you ready to be spotlighted?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. So first I want to thank you, Alyssa and Allison, for asking me to represent the Jewish Alliance of Greater Rhode Island. I'm honored and flattered, especially because this is such a huge event every year for several hundred women to attend. So thank you. You made my month. You made my several months by asking me. I also want to just say hi to my mom, who is out here a mile away, but at her own home because it's freezing. And a silver lining of all of this over the last year is that we all get to do things with people that we normally wouldn't get to. So I want to say hi to my aunt on Long Island and my best friend in the whole world, Jen in New Jersey, and her beautiful daughter, Jordan. I'm just thrilled that you really all get to do this with me. And the community I live in. Truly, it was my kids being in the Early Childhood Center at the JCC and joining Temple Bethel that got my family to start celebrating Shabbat. I grew up very Jewish, but traditional and not really celebrating on a weekly and regular basis. And a very wise person at the JCC when my kids were little told me, and my girls are here with me, sorry. But a very wise person told me at the JCC that I always thought you had to have this big special dinner and make a chicken and be home all day cooking to have Shabbat. She said, no, you buy a challah, you buy a pizza, you sit down with your family and you spend quality time together and you say the prayers and you sing and you enjoy yourself. And that's really what started my family on more of a regular weekly Shabbat. The very first time we baked challah was with the chef from the Early Childhood Center at the JCC. I surprised my kids because they love her challah, and she came to our house and taught us how to bake it, Chef D. So it was fantastic. And the PJ Library books also really inspired my family, my girls when they were little, to start wanting to celebrate Shabbat more and bake. So I'm just really happy to be here. Like I said, I'm really honored and flattered. And I hope that this is the first time we're making challah, just the three of us, with a few, 100 other women on Zoom. But I hope that this is the beginning of another tradition that my girls and I start by really trying to make challah on a more regular basis. And I just have to say, it's also so nice to see people I never get to see, like Jocelyn Kaplan and Fran, who works in the same building as me, but we never see each other anymore. So Nava, I choked up when I heard Nava start speaking. So this is really, really an honor to be here. So I hope you all enjoy.
Nice. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. Really, it's so lovely to hear from different people. We're going to now call on Adina Davies. She's our representative from Temple Habonim. So Adina, you're next up to tell us a couple of things, or whatever you thought of, whatever you'd like to inspire us with, or just share.
Hi, everyone. So here are my kids. They will potentially interrupt me in a second. This is Eleanor and Owen. She's 3 and he's 8. I would like to, it's always been something I want to do. It's always something I want to do is make challah every week, and that just doesn't happen. But I'm so glad to be inspired to do it today. Sometimes at the end of the week, I just feel so tired, and we end up buying it. And while I know that's still nice, it's nice to be able to do this with people from all around the state, country. And I actually really, what Wendy said resonated with me about the dinner, and what Felice said about the apron. I'm wearing my Bubby's apron.
I'm wearing my blanket and Owen's
And Ellie's wearing her
his.
PJ Library apron.
And Owen's not because he doesn't want to.
So I started my position at Temple Habonim as the temple administrator almost a year ago now, 2 weeks before the pandemic. And
now Daddy's working from home and Mommy's
okay. So both my children, I'm very lucky that they're in school right now. Ellie goes to the JCC down the street. And as a child, I went to my synagogue preschool. And I remember the special times when I was the Shabbat queen and my best friend Jacob was the Shabbat king. And we stood on the bima, we led prayers. My parents probably came, my grandparents. I have pictures from this special time. And it was very important for me to send my kids to Jewish preschool. My son went to the JCC also. My husband, who grew up here, went to this JCC. And my mom, who is on this Zoom, hi Mom, she lives outside of Philly, instilled in me a sense of Jewish pride. She's instilled in me many things, but the three things I'm going to mention is Jewish pride, a voice to speak out when something is not right, and a love for Jewish baking and cooking. And as kids, we made challah every year on Rosh Hashanah, and we would give it out to neighbors and friends. And I remember it had honey in it. It had honey in it, so it made it super sweet. We also made Homen Tashin every year. And I've been able to pass along these baking traditions to my kids. When we do it, I feel connected to my ancestors, to my mom. And the joy of challah for me is in the tradition and in the preparation. And I love watching my kids knead the dough. I have this video that shows up, reminds me every year on Facebook around Rosh Hashanah of my son Owen when he was like 1.5, just banging the dough and saying silly things. And the other thing I was going to say before I go is I also had the opportunity to work at the JCC in Greater Boston, doing programming for families with young children, and I was able to bring this tradition into a bunch of people's homes. I would host these small gatherings, and I worked part-time, and I was able to bring my son, and I was also able to volunteer in their classes to make challah and Homen Tashin at the JCC. And I look forward to a time where we can do that again, and we can make challah together, and whether it's in a big social hall or in someone's house.
Beautiful. Thanks, Adina.
And our
So much. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to Jessica. Jessica Newbauer, can you tell us quick couple of minutes what you'd like to share with us?
Should I spotlight myself? That's okay. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm here in Providence. This is such a lovely event. This is my 3rd year doing it, first time via Zoom. This is my daughter Lily. Hi. And our really good friends Rachel and Sky.
Thanks for having us.
And my mom is here from New York, and two of my closest girlfriends, Alyssa and Liz, are on the line too. And I think this is like an opportunity that we wouldn't ordinarily have all these people together in this way. And Lily participating means so much to me. My one quick story was every Friday till this day, my mom, first thing in the morning, will go to the local Jewish bakery and pick up her challah and her challah rolls to make us sandwiches. And that's always been a staple. And I'll tell the one funny story about my sister-in-law's baby shower. We did one of those grab things where it's like, do you have something in your purse situation, like, who has a pen, who has lipstick? And my mom pulled out a challah roll and said, I have a challah. Does that count for anything? And, half the room was like, what? And it's just like something that like she's known for and always has. It's because Lily at this time was younger and always loved her challah rolls. And I just have such nice memories of her getting it from the bakery warm and pulling off the little nubbin in the middle, which I love so much. And it's just nice to be a part of this community with everybody, with so many people that I, love and adore and respect, and hopefully we'll meet in person sooner than later. Lily, do you have anything?
Okay.
He's good.
Okay, we're going to move because we got a couple more kitchens to run through. We're going to spotlight now Susan Gertzikoff in East Greenwich, East Greenwich Torah Israel representative. Susan Gertzikoff.
Hi, everybody. I'm in Dina's kitchen, actually, because my house wouldn't have been quiet enough to pull this off as a mom of 3 and the Xbox going with 2 boys. I love the Challah Bake every year. We've hosted a family one in East Greenwich, but I never made challah unless it was from the Challah Bake. I would buy one. We'd light the Shabbat candles. We made it a priority once the kids were little and at the JCC. But during the pandemic, I was like, I'm home. I'm working from home. My kids are home. I'm cooking every meal. And it was right after Passover. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a challah. We haven't had any bread. And I get my weekly text from Alyssa. And it says, Shabbat Shalom, sending love. And I wrote back, Shabbat Shalom, I'm attempting my first challah. And Alyssa says to me, fantastic, you can do it. But you have to make it in the shape of a key. In the back of my head, I'm going, a shape of a key? I was like, I don't even know if I can braid this, let alone if it's going to rise. But it rose, and I didn't make it in the shape of a key. I braided it. And, you know, I just started, but I did make a key with some dough and put it on there and baked it. And Alyssa told me what the key meant, but I was too focused on making it. So I make it every week now. And as I sat down to think about what I was going to say tonight, I was like, okay, when I make this, it's become part of my ritual. On Friday morning, I wake up, I make my coffee, the house is quiet, my husband's getting ready to leave for work, the kids are sleeping because they're homeschooled that day, and I make my challah. And as I go through the process, I think I start to let go of whatever has gone on through the week. Like, it's the key to letting go of the week and the beginning of the next week. And I think that's what the key symbolizes after Passover. So it brings me optimism and hope. And then my 3 critics rate my challah every week, and they're like, it's great, or you can do a better job next week, Mom. But they've gotten into the habit of me doing it every week. So there's hope for anyone who says, I can't do this.
No, we can do it. Everybody can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to make challah all over. Thank you, Susan. Now to Newport, Rhode Island, to Touro Synagogue and the Visitor Center there. Merrill Corley. Merrill, you are up.
Hi, my name is Merrill. This is my daughter, Dory. We represent Touro Synagogue, and actually both of us have been attending the Challah Bakes for as long as I can remember. But full disclosure, I will tell you, we're not in the kitchen because Newport was under a mandatory water boiling alert thing that was just lifted after we decided we couldn't bake. So we're going to make our recipe as tomorrow. And a couple of things that I want to say is Dory's been going, but she's gluten intolerant, so she's never been able to taste the challah that she's made. So we are actually, for the very first time, going to try gluten-free recipe. So if anybody wants to know how it came out, you can email me. I'm actually tours@torosynagogue.org, and I can let you know if this recipe works. It'll be interesting. I will say that the very first time I went to a communal challah bake was with Alyssa, and it was on her very first JWRP or Momentum Tour to Israel. And being with this large group of women.
Yay, first team.
Yeah, I think Barbara's there, Allison's on, Laurie's on. We were all members of the very first one. So making this challah with a group of women in Jerusalem overlooking the Western Wall is just something that it's a memory that stays with you forever. And the fact that this challah bake takes place every year, it's something that I look forward to. I really can't wait for us to be together, hopefully next year. I had this line, my daughter said, please don't say this, but you know, just like we say at Passover, if not in Jerusalem, hopefully in Providence next year.
Amen.
That's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Meryl. So lovely to see you and your daughter there. Nice to see you, Dory. Anna Cable in over there on the east side. You're up next. Last but not least. Anna, are you here? Is
I
Anna?
unmute myself. Hi, I'm Anna. I have two little girls who are both hopefully asleep, though they may be heard in the background. And I wanted to leave us with, I don't know, an intention or a hope. When I think about making challah, I think about the way that I learned, which was that my mom was very sick, and a very good friend of my mom's, Judy Semenoff, came over and taught me how to bake it. And I was totally distracted. I was having a hard time, but I remember that. And it was the start of a relationship with her where she mothered me. And it also makes me think about Alyssa and the challah at her table. And Alyssa was so important to me as I was learning what kind of family I wanted to have, and was returning to Providence and thinking about what kind of woman I wanted to grow into being. And so what challah means to me is it's something, I don't know, I guess this isn't necessarily intuitive, but I think a lot about the power that women can have for each other, to mother each other, to care for each other, to be there for each other. And this has been such a hard year to be moms, to be parents, to be women. And my wish is that we all support each other, that we give each other that nourishment physically, but more emotionally.
Nice, thank you. Thank you, Anna. Okay, good. So we've been around a little bit. So now we're going to go back to our challah. So get your challah, wherever it is, whatever it's done. Whatever it has done, it is enough. It's good. Don't worry that it's not flowing over the bowl. Don't worry about that. Mine's not flowing over the bowl. In an hour, it would be overflowing, but it's not overflowing now. But I'm going to invite Brona Deutsch to do the next step. Can you lead us from here to take the piece of challah, maybe explain a little bit, and just go and give us and do the next little piece.
Sure, thank you. Hi, I'm Brana. I think I've been hearing a lot of similar themes about, what I hear is like having intention and mindfulness. And when we're doing certain actions that could just be kind of mundane, making bread, baking, it can just be, things that we just do and don't think about it, or we can infuse it with a lot of intention and holiness. And so when we make really big challahs, and it, of course, there are lots of different ideas about how much you need, but or different opinions, then we take a piece of challah, or we take a piece of the dough, we separate it, we say a bracha, and then we discard of it or we burn it in a respectful way. And we already mentioned that in the Talmud, there are these three mitzvot that are associated with women. And in all of them, lighting Shabbat candles, mikvah, and making challah, there are these moments where you do them where, at least for me, that you can, they're this time of holiness where, again, you're doing something, you could just do it without thinking about it, or you can take a moment while you're doing it and, you pray for your family, you pray for sick people, you pray for yourself. So taking challah is one of those moments. What I do, because I do Sephardic custom, is I am going to say the bracha and then take the challah right at the end of the bracha, and then I will put it aside. And I forgot to mention also, some people also give tzedakah when they are taking challah. So I just gave tzedakah, and now I am going to say
Brona, why does everybody take their challah? We can do it together. If you take 5 pounds, if people have 5 pounds worth of flour, take your challah dough. Even if you didn't, you can take it, and we'll do it all together. And then Brana can make the blessing. We can say the blessing along with you if you want, because I want to also. And then I just include everybody, and you can eat it a little bit while you're
challah. Okay. All right. So I've got it. So now I'm going to say the bracha, and then I'm going to take a moment after I say the bracha, and I'm going to pray. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehafrish challah.
This is challah. This is challah. This is challah. We call this challah, but this is the challah. You got to wrap that up. Get rid of it. You'll wrap that. If you took a little piece of challah, you can take a piece like a tennis, like a ping pong ball or an egg, put it in some foil and wrap it up. And that's your offering that you would give to the priest in the temple in the time of the temple. So we don't do that now, but we do take a piece, and that you can't eat that. You have to burn it. So I'm going to put it in my oven. Okay, so if anybody gave the tzedakah, his tzedakah, you can give a little bit of, put a penny in the pushka. And now maybe we'll just take a second and we'll just maybe just pray for somebody, pray for yourself, pray for somebody. Thank you so much, Brona. Really beautiful. Thank you. People invited to keep kneading your challah.
Alyssa, you want to put some music on?
Yeah. Me?
No, me. I am.
But keep kneading, people.
The music.
Ladies, keep kneading your challah. We're going to play a song, and then we're going to go over to Rashmi's kitchen, and she's going to help us grate it.
What's this, Mom? Mom, what song is it? What's it about? He probably got up the stairs and he's probably not going up the stairs.
Oh God.
You're right. It was actually a real problem because he was scared.
Okay, well, we could sing.
I'm working on it.
All right, keep kneading. Thinking.
I can't remember what's the Spotify password. Well,
I don't know.
Oh Jesus.
So another sometimes.
Oh my God! Play We Rise, Allison.
So at the same time as they're taking the piece off the main dough and they make the blessing over taking that little piece off, they will give tzedakah, they give it into the pushka, and they also light a candle. You
can bake it tomorrow.
Yeah, you can put it in the fridge. When you take it out, then you're going to knead it a little bit more and rise for a little 15 minutes.
When you take it out of the fridge, you're gonna when you take it out of the fridge, you're going to knead it more.
It's so funny. Thank you, sweetie.
Yes, I think we're not going to do this now then.
Candle she made. Mom.
Can you mute yourself? I think we'll just keep going.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of
technical difficulty.
Okay. All right. So I think maybe now we'll take a little trip over to Rashmi Licht's kitchen, also on the east side. Rashmi and I think one or two of her girls, I don't know, maybe her son also making challah. So can we spotlight Rashmi?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Alyssa and Allison. This has been awesome. And thank you for all the speakers. You guys are all inspirational and lovely. So I think the first thing, if you guys want to first get this is Millie. She's my 10-year-old who's helping me. But she's going to show you the 3 braids. So if you guys all want to I'm going to show you how to do a 4 braid. I do sort of the easy person version of the 4 braid. So if you want to make your pieces of dough, split it into 4. I did the smaller recipe. We did 2 of them. And you can usually make 2 challahs out of even the smaller recipe. So if you want to divide it in 2 and then roll 4 or roll 3, whichever one you want to do.
Rashmi, are people cutting it off? Well, how do they get that piece off?
These pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did the smaller version. So I had 2. I still have 4 more things to do. So I split my challah in half. And I split them into 4 little balls, or 8 actually, really 8. And then once you split them into 8, then you can make you just roll them out into like a long thing.
So once you've cut your piece off, then they kind of just roll it like this to make a long snake, basically, like that.
I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah.
I don't think people are quite up to you yet, Rashmi. People haven't yet taken that. We'll just wait up a second while people cut off their 3 little pieces or whatever they're gonna. You're doing 3 or 4 first?
We'll do the easy one first. I think we'll
Yeah.
do 3, which is
Okay.
pretty
Does
easy.
everybody have their three snakes ready to braid? Yes. Allison, can you
Let's give everybody a minute. We're gonna give everybody a minute. Definitely, people do not have their snakes ready yet.
Okay, so wait up. They don't have to be equal and they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be anything.
6 or 3 snakes. Sorry.
Huh?
4 or 3 snakes.
Three.
We're gonna do. You could do 3, and then you could also prepare for 4, because I'll show you how to do a 4 braid.
So-
I do there's a really beautiful way that people that are really great at braiding do with 4, but I do the easy way.
So also you should have ready a sheet, like a sheet pan or whatever you're going to put it into. What are you going to put yours into, Rashmi?
Yeah. You could just do like a flat red pan or foil thing and just.
He was making whatever you want to put. I actually put part of paper on mine. I don't know what you do with you just spray it down, but you want to put something. Okay. Okay, how are we doing?
Everybody make sure to spray your pans before you put your challah in or they will stick.
I'm good on the music. Do you guys want to hear some music, Alyssa?
No, I don't think so. I think that people are well, I don't know, Allison, where are people up to? I can't see what everybody's doing.
That's to music.
Yeah, put some music on just for a few minutes and then we'll be ready. We'll be ready. We're still
making the roll. When yes, okay. So,
What song is this?
So what's everyone's advice for when it doesn't rise at all? Does that mean that the yeast I killed the yeast with hot water? It's too hot?
if it doesn't rise, well, it's sometimes it rise in the oven. It could well rise in the oven.
Okay, because I just opened it to yeast, so you would think it would rise.
Can we turn the music down so I can Okay, I really think if you're going to I want it to rise. So once you've done what Rashmi's going to show us and you get it into the challah and you put it in your pan, put it on your sheet with you're going to let it sit for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you're going to put it in the oven. So however long you want it takes for your oven to, if you're going to cook it now, you want to turn your oven on now, like 350. Put it onto the oven now at 350.
And even if you don't want to cook it tonight, if you literally braid it and you decorate it or you do the egg wash and you stick it in the fridge overnight, you'll come in the next morning and you'll see that your challah has tripled in size. So even in the fridge where it's cold, it will actually continue to rise too.
Alyssa, you said that it still might rise in the oven even if it's not rising.
Yes.
But I would recommend waiting, like put your oven on and cover, like after you've braided them, leave them in whatever pan you have, like this. Like usually I put them in this kind of pan and then cover it with like a towel and then let it wait like an hour with like the oven on inside, or like make sure it's in a warm spot, because then it'll rise before you bake it for the first time.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in the fridge and do it tomorrow.
Okay, Rashmi, do you want to show us? So if you have your 3 braids, Rashmi, you're up.
Or yes, Millie's going to show us.
Can we see? Yeah, great, perfect.
I mean, this is the easy one because I think most of us, I think, know how to braid. So you're going to pinch the top and push it together. Yep. And mush it together so it stays together. And the tighter your braid, sort of the prettier it looks. So, and you can redo it over and over again if you don't like the way it looks. So go ahead, you can braid. And just braid like you would normally braid someone's hair. She's a lefty, so she's going, yeah. Okay. So then, and then you just braid it just like you would braid someone's hair.
Oh, can I say something? I tell you, want to hear something really cool? That when Eve was in the Garden of Eden with Adam, and she was going to get married to Adam, so there's a teaching that says, the mystical teaching that says that God braided the hair of Eve to make her pretty, and that's one of the sources as to why we braid our challah, because we're making it pretty. But you didn't know that.
And then you just pinch the other end, and that's pretty basic. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
I have a question. If you were going to freeze the challah, like, because you made a lot, would you bake it and then freeze it, or freeze it before you bake it?
I like to bake it and then freeze it. After I've let it risen. Usually I let it rise twice. Once when you need it and you didn't have enough time today, but then after you braid it, then you let it rise again. And then I usually bake it and then I stick it in the freezer.
We do the toppings after we've after we've made all our challahs.
Are you guys ready for the 4 challah braid? Can you see?
I'm ready.
So this is the easy sort of way of doing it, and it's pretty. If you just remember over, under, and then over, and that's all you do, and then you sort of try to make it as tight as you can, and so then you take the next one on the left, and then you go over, under, and then over. There's a cool, like the women when we do the challah bake they know how to do a really cool braid that makes it a little bit more bulky, but this is a quick and easy way of doing it. So again, over, under the next one, and then over this one. And the tighter you make it, the prettier sort of it looks. And then you take the last one over, then under, and then over. So, and the real baker will tell you that there's a much easier way to do it, but it looks very pretty when you actually do it.
Yeah.
There's ways to do 6 and everything else. If you YouTube any of these, like there's another way of doing the 4 braid that makes it even look more beautiful. I've never mastered that one, but
I'm going to do another 3 braid because I have more dough left. So if people want to do another 3 braid, or you want to make a roll, I can show you how to make a roll. So I'm going to make another 3 braid just because I have a lot more challah still to go. So you take your 3 strands. So you know the way that Rashmi and Millie did it, they pinched it together at the top. So I actually don't do that. I don't know why, I just don't. I just start braiding in the middle. And then I pinch it at the bottom, tuck it under, turn it around, and then braid it again on the other side. I don't know where I learned that, but that's what I do. That's my thing. Now, if you want to make a roll, you take one of the snakes that you have. Take one of these snakes, and you literally just knot it. Just knot it like that, and it makes a nice little roll. So there are people making more challah. If anybody wants to know where to distribute their challah, if you don't have enough, or you don't have any sources to give away your challah, I'm happy to give it away for you. I will also mention that we're doing a little project called Connect Rhode Island. It's a little project of if you're cooking extra for Shabbat, if you're making extra chicken or anything, there are some people in the community who could always use a lovely, especially there are some single people, older people living around who really appreciate a home cooked meal on Friday night. So if anybody is cooking extra and wants to share it with those people, please be in touch with me. I'm setting up a system now. We're feeding beautiful Shabbat home cooked meals to about 6 people every week. And I think they're really enjoying it. And it's a win-win situation. So that's what we're doing. So I'm making a bunch of rolls. how's everybody doing with their dough?
Over. Under.
Okay, so another idea about the challah, braiding challah, is that we're combining. Again, it's another place where we're putting 3 different strands of things together, 4, 6, whatever people are doing, and we're making it into one. So again, the theme of unity. And I think also when we do this, we're making space for other people, right? So each strand of the challah is making room for the other strand, and we're intertwined, but we're making space for each other, and we're including each other, and everybody's important and everybody's necessary. And that's another message to bring out from the intention of what we're doing when we're braiding. We're taking different things and knotting them together and making them one. How lovely is that? Okay, we're almost at the end. We've got our beautiful challah sitting here. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to glaze it. So if you have an egg, you can use just plain oil, but if you have an egg, I usually just use a little egg with a little bit of water and put that into as my last challah. So I have a full tray of challahs like this. And then you'll take your egg, and you'll put that into your bowl. Check to see there's no little blood spots in it, which is very rare. And then mix that up, a little water. And then we're going to glaze the challah with the egg wash. So if you have a brush or something you can do, I have an old paintbrush, and then you just wash it on the top. Again, we're going to make our actions shine. We're going to make our beautiful challah shine. The challah, this egg wash will make it shine. And we're all shining tonight. And then the last thing we're going to do is put our sprinkles on. So I don't know what sprinkles people have. If you want to put in the chat what kind of sprinkles you have. Maybe Alison, you could read out what people are putting on the top of their challah. Poppy seeds, sesame seeds, everything bagel is a really nice topping. If you have a sweet tooth, go with sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles. I don't know, what else do people do? Cinnamon sugar. What else do you guys do?
Oh, I like the idea of cinnamon.
Nice. Oh. Wow. That's nice.
If anybody did not make challah this week and wants extra, I've got extra, so be in touch with me. I'm happy to share. I don't want it left over. Okay, so everybody's done their glazing, their shining, make your challah shine.
Oh, I like Andrea's kids insisted on Harry Potter sprinkles. I love it.
What are Harry Potter sprinkles? What is that?
I'm guessing they're like different colors or shapes, maybe.
No, they're the colors of each of the houses at Hogwarts. Like Hufflepuff is yellow, Gryffindor is red, Slytherin's green, and Ravenclaw is blue.
Look, I made a 6th grade.
Let's see.
I made a 6th grade. You don't want to go with you. He'll stay with me. 6th grade.
Okay, then you're going to take whatever. I use everything bagel. So I have my everything bagel. And I put that on the top. Sprinkle it on. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for like 20 minutes, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. And it should be on your, like, depends on the temperature, how hot your oven gets and where you put it in the oven. But when it gets brown on the top, then it's time to take it out. And then I think another thing to think about when it's baking is the need we all have for warmth and love in order to grow, in order to create something. We need warmth and we need love. And that's the idea of the oven. And then we're going to take it out of the oven. And I think that also speaks about, like we can stay in our little
cocoons, but sometimes we have to go out. We have to go out into the cold. We have to go out into the world. But we're taking our challah with us. So if you have any more questions, please stay and ask your questions. Please send us pictures of your challah. We really, really, really want to see pictures of your challah. And I'm sorry that we had to do it on Zoom, but I'm glad that we had this time together, and I'm really looking forward to dancing and singing and really having an amazing, amazing unified coming together challah bake next year. Thank you for keeping the energy going.
Thank you.
And Alison, would you like any more passing last minute thoughts?
No, this was awesome, and I can't wait to eat this delicious challah, and I can't wait for how good all of our houses
Thank
smell.
you, Alison.
Thank you.
Okay, if anybody wants to stay and chat, then stay and chat for a couple of minutes. But otherwise, tell us how your challah comes out, and have a wonderful Rosh Chodesh. Have a wonderful Adar. I hope it's a happy one. I hope it's one filled with simcha and joy.
Thanks, everybody. It's Cynthia. Lovely to see you all. I didn't have my camera on because I'm actually in my pajamas, but that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. If I put it in the fridge, should I cover it or not?
You put it, just cover it, yeah.
Cover it, and then tomorrow take it out and I can bake it, or should I leave it out for a little?
I think you have to leave it out for a little, and then you can bake it.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hi, Rashmi.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good seeing everyone.
It
was
great. What a great program. Thank you.
And if you guys, Rosh, did you say that when you put it in the fridge the next day and then bake it, you glaze it the next day? You don't glaze it now, do you?
I mean, you can, but because when we've done the challah bake before, like a lot of times, by the time I get home, I don't feel like staying up and baking.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Glaze it, we decorate it, I stick it in the fridge, and the next morning I come in and it's like 4 times the size.
Nice.
Guys did a great job.
These people, Chodesh Tov, Shabbat Shalom, beautiful.
Hey, go Susan, go Susan.
Nice.
It's gonna be a joyous simcha dikam adar. Woo!
How about the Persians, you know? Esther, Vashti, they did that. Okay, bye.
What are Sephardi customs over challah? Like what's different about what Sephardim do over the?
Just have to get off. I mean, I think that every place is different, but they don't. Challah is not a thing. Like they have
really?
different kinds of bread, usually flat bread, and Persian bread is pretty.
Now you're not in the picture.
Is like Indian.
You have to mute yourself. If you're not talking to us, please mute yourself.
Anyway, different, but this was amazing.
Okay.
So fun. I actually like it over Zoom, I gotta say.
Okay, well, you can hear what we're saying. We're not shouting over the millions of people running and dancing and balaganing.
I think it's the first time I heard what you had to say about the challah in 5 years.
Totally.
It's crazy. There's so much intention. There's so much stuff we're putting in as we're going through each step and putting each ingredient in, and we're mixing it together, and we're braiding it, and we're like shaping it, and we're putting it in the oven and glazing it. Like all of this stuff has intentions around it. So that's not just bread. It's like really infused with kedusha, with holiness, and with intention, and it's just tastes better. No question.
Thank you. It was a great experience.
Okay, wonderful.
And we'll see you soon in Rhode Island.
Okay, please God, everybody's
Yes.
invited.
Okay,
All right,
thank
thank
you.
you, everybody.
Good job, because I'm waiting to taste it.
Let me see it, Barbara. Let's see a picture of your challah.
No, I didn't make one. I had a really rough day, so I was just wanted to be here and be with everybody.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for
You're
coming.
on.
Allison is baking for
Having
me.
a nice glass of wine and enjoying the company. I saw that.
No, you have to try. Well, thank you everybody for coming, even if you didn't make challah.
Really, I wasn't sure what it would be like. I mean, even if I was baking, you did a great job. It was really lovely.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Rachel, Sarah.
ממש תודה על החיים.
Rachel,
It's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay.
Deborah, how did you?
I'll show you.
Me?
Yeah.
So, you know, I made it to 5 pounds and I can't eat any of it. I've never done that, but I'll show them to you.
Yeah.
It wasn't super stretchy, but I think it came out all right.
Here are my gluten-free banana muffins that I made earlier, but here.
Wow, they're amazing. Well done.
So I got it.
We got to take care of people now.
Okay.
Rabbi Zarin, did they come out? Rabbi Zarin?
So the dough never got stretchy, but I think I managed. Here it is.
Beautiful, Rachel.
Yeah, they look amazing.
I mean, I made a lot of friendship bracelets in my life. I'm pretty good at braiding. Just not the baking part.
So I have a question. If I cover these and put them on my porch, which is the equivalent of a fridge.
Oh.
Because it's in,
But watch out for the squirrels and the rabbits.
No, it's a closed-in porch.
Oh.
If I put them in saran, put them on the porch and bake them in the morning?
Yeah,
okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So exciting.
I added a lot of water. The water helped.
Good. Okay.
That was the trick. And now I'm going to let them rise again and see if that helps too. I'll tell you after Shabbos how they taste.
Okay, awesome. All right, so everybody send comments. I want to see everything. I want to see everybody's colors.
Call out to you guys. This was wonderful.
Thanks
Excellent.
so much.
We're going to end the meeting now. Chodesh Tov, everybody.
Chodesh Tov.
I have about 10 challahs now, so I'm going to give them out.
Excellent. You're shining into the world. Shine, shine, shine. Beautiful challah.
Great. It was lots of fun.
Great. All right, whoever's a host has to end the meeting. And as much as we don't want to
just stay on and continue to drink or something. No, just kidding.
Crazy. I have another meeting at 9.
Allison's like, I'll be on.
Melissa, you're wild.
Mommy, another meeting at 9.
I have to end it, but I don't want it to be over.
Oh, well, next year we're going to make it in person. Maybe we'll do a Hamantash and bake. Should we do a Hamantash and bake?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun.
All right, we'll see. Vicky, did you
Make
get
5
what your
pounds
challah
of
look like? What does Vicky, what do your challah look like?
Sorry, I'm like still here because I'm watching the kids at the same time. So
oh my God.
They look okay. Here, I'll show you. I'm doing sprinkles, which I never let them do.
Nice, beautiful, excellent.
We have lots of downs, but thank you guys. So nice.
Vicky, you might want to mute yourself now if you. All right. How about Eden? What does yours look like? Mia, what does your challah look like? Oh, she's busy. Who else? Sarah, did you make challah?
I did. Give me a second. I'll go get it.
Laura, did you make challah? We can't see you, but we see a nice picture of you.
You do the sprinkle. Here, Jack, you can sprinkle this.
Vicky, you got unmuted for some reason. Okay, got the last of the Mohicans are still here. Nice,
beautiful, Sarah.
Sarah, amazing, beautiful.
Thank you. I did the 4-strand braid for the first time. Rakshmi inspired me.
Nice, excellent, wonderful. Well, nice to have you. Nice to know you.
Oh, it was a pleasure to be here. I really enjoyed it. It was a great event. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we do a lot of events, so check out our website. We've got lots going on, so come join us.
I will. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Chodesh Tov.
Laura,
are you still